Hello, welcome to another episode of Chaotic Torture RC. On this one, I've already done a demonstration of the box art and opening of the box for the axial scx10 2000 Jeep Cherokee. And on this one, we're going to start the video build. I'm going to start with step 1, which is open bag A, which is this right here that comes in the kit for building the axles. That's the first part we're going to get to on the assembly. So let me cut into it here and we will get started with the assembly of the axles. I made mention in the unopening of the box that I wasn't going to use the axial grease because I was going to use a waterproof marine grease that I have, but I got to remembering that the axial grease that they use now is a marine based grease, so I'm going to go ahead and use that during this build because you don't have to use a whole bunch. But as you see, opened up bag A as per what the instructions say, and the first thing they're going to have us do is the diff assembly. And when I get to the bearings, I will show you something that's very not commonly seen. Some of these bearings don't have cases. In their casings, they don't have the dust shields on. I'm going to assume those are probably going to be inside the case. I'll address that when I get to it. But for the first part, let me see if I can get this on camera and zoom in just to show. Right here, it's going to show the assembly of the ring gear that's going to go inside the transmission, and that is where your pinion gear rides up against, or not in your transmission, I'm sorry, inside your axles. So inside this bag here, they're labeled. It's a 30 tooth, an 8 tooth, so your ring gear is 30 tooth, your pinion gear is going to be 8 tooth. They are definitely beveled and splined. Let me open these up so I can give you a closer look at them. This is going to be nice because with a lot of the older kits where you had just all straight gears, zoom in and see if I can get my camera to focus. You can see the curvature there, and they sell HD gears for their older kits that were beveled like that, but you didn't get them in the new kits, so that's nice that they're doing that. Back this out some, and they're heavily coated in an oil inside the package. I'm assuming that's a rust preventative, and the lockers are definitely something different than before. Here is what the locker looks like. And according to the manual, I am going to slide that over the locker like that. Maybe too close to focus real good. But we're going to slide that over and then put the hardware in. And this shows to use thread locker, which, let me zoom this back out so I'm not. They do include the thread locker. Like I said, they supplied some grease with it. So open this package, get thread lock out. And I've got my own thread lock from previous builds and stuff. I usually get Loctite brand's what I usually use. It's in the red canister, but it's blue. You never want to use red Loctite on your RC builds. But for this one, I'm just going to use everything strictly from the kit, just in case one of those that may be following this build series want to do the same, building the kit and don't want to buy anything extra. And it's already got the hole punch, so nothing Nothing there needed. Let me look at the hardware options that came with this. I'm going to have to open up a screw bag. I'm going to pour them out here right in front of. I'm working off of a Cal RC mat. Heath at Cal RC made me one. It's a 2 foot by 4 foot mat. It's been a blessing with my builds. And for these we are going to be using, it takes 3 axa1014 is what the kit calls for. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put my bolt on there. It don't take much Loctite. You don't need a whole lot, but you do want to put some on there. And then I'm going to go ahead for my first one, line it up inside that ring gear. And since this only has 3 of them, once you get the first one started in the way that it sits, it's going to line it up. But I'm not going to torque it down until I get all 3 in there. Just as a rule of thumb, it's always a good practice to wait till you get them all in there to torque them down to specs. I got a little too much thread locker on that one, but I can put some on the mat and then I can dip them into that later on, and then when I'm done I can just wipe it up off the mat. That's a good thing about this Cal RC mat as well. It has been a blessing when I've made messes. It's saving me from making messes on my carpet and tables or whatever. As you can see, I've got the thread locker I've spilt there. I'm just going to take my nut and my bolt, run it there, and it now has the thread lock on it. And then when I'm done working, I just spray this down with the degreaser and wipe up the mat, and it's stayed clean. It's held up really well. I've been impressed with it. I was curious about them for a long time. I had a hard time wanting to pay the price of what one of these mats would run and stuff, but then I called him up before doing this channel and talked with him. Heath worked me out a good deal. Shipping was super fast on it. Okay, anyways, as you can see, that didn't take long to assemble that ring gear. Now it's asking me to put some bearings on it. I will dump these off to the side. I told you they came with some bearings that had some shielding knot on there. I'm gonna wait and show you those when it comes to it, but I will hold this up to find out which one I need. Hold on one second, telephone. Hello? Yeah, hold on one second.